I'm sure you've been seeing the post too about fatigue. Well, here's a little bit more as to why we're experiencing fatigue. This random woman who happens to be melanin challenged was jumped by several non-melanin challenged women because they wanted to protest the fact that Karmelo Anthony, who admitted that he killed someone, is going to prison. And so they thought that the best way of doing that was to go jump someone who didn't look like them. I'll wait for the reasons why this was okay.
These three losers reportedly set out and said that they were going to find the smallest white girl they could find to beat her up. And they did do that. They found a little white girl, they beat her up, and while they were doing that, they were chanting and screaming, "Free Karmelo." They went out of their way to go and try to beat up a white girl because they believe that Karmelo Anthony is... I don't know if they believe he's innocent or if they believe that he's justified to do what he did and then he shouldn't face any consequences. So they decided to go out and do their own hate crime. That's what it is. They went out of their way to do a hate crime. They better be charged with a hate crime because if three white people went out of their way, said they're going to find a small black person, beat them up, and then start making comments such as that of, I don't know, of free whoever, that would be considered a hate crime. This needs to be charged as hate crime and see what happens then. Make an example out of them.
Yes, these Carmelo Anthony supporters are taking it to another level. This is now becoming a race issue, like I've been singing on this channel for some time. If you take a look at this, a group of suspects chanting Free Carmelo Anthony have been implicated in the beating of a young white woman in a Texas nightclub. Police in Longview have made arrests. The victim says the group said they were going to target the smallest white girl they could find. The feds are now also involved investigating the case. The DOJ could pursue hate crime charges based upon the claims made by the victim. This is extremely concerning.
We do know that one woman has been arrested for this assault. Here is the victim, whose injuries appear all over her face and head. Her to have a deep gash on it. The top of her head appears to have a deep gash, and which none of us can quite figure out what we're seeing, but they appear to think it's evidence. We can cycle through the pictures, please. And you can see some of her in. She's wearing a neck brace. She's clearly been attacked. This is not neck brace that you... Okay, now we do have her name. The victim's name is Sammy Lee. She is facing assault charges and was booked into jail on a $20,000 bond, according to local KYTX. And the locals are reporting at least 2 other arrests as well in this case. Unbelievable. So this, we don't have any idea what the race of the perpetrators is, though I'm going to assume it's not necessarily white if they were looking to target, quote, the smallest white girl they could find. But this is in retaliation. The report is that this is in retaliation for the Karmelo Anthony conviction. This is insane. Karmelo Anthony attacked and a young man, he happened to be black and the decedent is white. And this wasn't a race case, despite the fact that Karmelo Anthony's family spokesperson tried to make it one. And now this small group of people, although it's growing, like the intellectual class, so-called, is jumping on board to this. Oh, now we have a picture of the perpetrator. Yeah, she does happen to be black. She's there with some crazy hair, blonde tips and dark roots, and I guess was allegedly part of this whole thing, now being held on $20,000 bond. So they're turning this into a race crime. Like what wasn't a race crime is turning into a race crime because there's a collection of people extremely angry about the fact that justice applied to Karmelo Anthony the same as it would to any other person, another boy in the heart with no reason. Here to join us on this case and more is our friend Jason Whitlock. He is the host of Fearless with Jason Whitlock. This is so infuriating, Jason. The turning of the narrative around Karmelo Anthony has been infuriating from the start, and now it's culminating.
Yes, this is turning to something else. Look at how that lady is severely touched as a result of this. If you look deep into this, you realize this girl might be in nonsense. She doesn't even know what exactly is happening about Karmelo Anthony. But she just happened to be a victim of this kind of thing. It is devastating to see how people who don't reason decide to take up decision on their own to go after people who opposes this. I don't know, according to these people, if Carmelo Anthony was in nonsense, why have they decided to do this? It's insane.
Here was white. It was Austin Metcalf who was the victim here.
The world is upside down, Megan, and we sit here and we're baffled. Like, how did we get here? And it's been a long process, and it takes a lot to understand what is transpiring. But you know, what, Megan? Do you remember the West Memphis 3 case? West Memphis, Arkansas. Yes. HBO did 3 documentaries. 3 white kids, teenagers, 8-year-old boys, and these were all white kids. Damian Eccles, 18, 19 years old, Jason Baldwin, and a Jesse Miss Kelly. They did them, and the prosecution argued that this was a satanic child sacrifice case. That's what they argued in court, and the jury agreed and convicted these guys. They gave Damian Eccles a life sentence. HBO jumped in, and people like John.
You know, I'm not surprised to see this happening. Yeah, because a lot of these bad messages were being spread on social media. They made it like Carmelo Anthony is a nonsense, like what he did was okay. And this is now resulting in this. I just want these people to be taught a lesson, so maybe others should not copy this kind of attitude. Carmelo committed a big crime. He should face prison terms. Yeah, as a result of what he did. People trying to do this, to intimidate, do all sort of things like this should be punished accordingly. I saw a lot of people getting excited about Carmelo Anthony new legal team. I even saw a press conference they made a few days ago, and they used that press conference to mock McCall's family. I was like, look at this. The New York Post actually made it clear, like, this legal team is just part of Carmelo Anthony top supporters. They have just decided to turn.
New York Post, you should be ashamed of yourself. You really should. To refer to Carmelo Anthony's legal team as Carmelo's supporters.
Shout out to Carmelo Anthony's parents because they done scammed the out of y'all. Now, I done seen a lot of people get y'all for some money, but $600,000? God damn, that was the fastest come up I done ever seen.
A black attorney, the first attorney I had to meet was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney was.
We charge
$500,000. They wasn't talking until they gave him $200,000.
Damn, pay the money.
What the white man say?
75.
75,000?
Yeah.
There were resources that we donated for experts.
You know, in 2026, we should not really be focusing on race-related topics. I'm telling the truth, I'm always speechless when it concerns these topics. I don't always like to put my energy when it concerns race because I don't believe in what these people are doing. It's sad that in 2026, we are still saying the same thing. I believe we've long gone. We should not be in on this. We should accept the truth when we see it. Yeah, that is making the world a better place than all these crazy justifications. I don't want to prolong the video. I think I'm going to end here. I want to appreciate your support and sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. As the social clips that end, that's what a white tail always keep.
What I'm talking about is 35 years. Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. Yet at the end of the day, Black America repeatedly is told that self-defense is a part of the law.
That video is shown to jurors, but it was shown in 4K clear to the people that witnessed it.
It's because Carmelo is all of our babies.
In Collin County. House intensifying. They were yelling.
I don't.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I heard what happened. Listen, Cybertruck with your GoFundMe money. Bad news is you're going to jail, but...
You're on my page, so you automatically know.
Guilty. Stay your ass in jail, boy.
People tend to not trust elections when it takes a real long time.
Sued Los Angeles is that it's really important not to conflate.
So with all eyes on California, you can see exactly what's happening. There
goes on here in the Golden State.
In 39 days, we will know the winner.
Sports me is a Democrat.
Encouraging her fans not to vote for Pratt.